Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure you turn on your notifications and subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Also, make sure you sign up for Prize Picks, the simplest sports fantasy game on the market. You can pick from multiple sports platforms and pick different players. And get this, if you sign up using the code ASU, Prize Picks will 100% match your initial offer up to $100. Well, we got a lot to cover today. Since our last show, the Falcons have played two preseason games,
Mhm, mhm.
which they split, and a loss on the road against the Jets and a win at home this past Saturday against the Jaguars. And that Jets game was the last time that you saw starters for the Falcons.
Right.
And now that roster is down to 53 men. So we got a lot to talk about today, T.
Yeah. Yeah, we do, we do. If we go back 2 games, I thought in that Jets game, in that first half, excuse me, that first half was, brilliant. I like the way they moved the ball. I like how aggressive they were on both sides of the ball. I like the way the defense mixed up some coverages and some schemes, some blitz schemes and whatsoever. I like the way we ran the ball, play action, threw the ball downfield. It was a thing of beauty. It was just that their second and third line players were better than ours in the second half. When you got guys like P. Ryan playing running back in that second half, who
Yeah.
was a starter at one time, who could start for any other NFL team in the league, um, we knew we was going to have problems. And then going back to last preseason game, it was one of those of basically who was going to be that guy. There was probably 2 or 3 guys they were looking at to see, okay, they were bubble guys to see if they was going to make the roster or not. We seen Desmond Ridder. Here's the thing. I'm watching Desmond Ridder,
Hmm.
and then I'm watching clips of other rookie quarterbacks and first year quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And Desmond Ridder looks like he's 2 years ahead of them. He looks more poised, more confident, more sure of himself. He has a live arm. He throws in windows, and I like him. And compared to the other quarterbacks that were drafted, and compared to quarterbacks that were drafted last year,
Hmm.
to me, he's better than all of them.
No, he's been playing fantastic. I've been so pleased with how his play has been. This last game against the Jaguars, he did throw an interception to start
Right.
off the game, but he corrected that and never looked back. I mean, the Falcons looked well. I mean, and again, it was a preseason game and it was game three. It wasn't a lot of starters, but the atmosphere in the building, Terrence, there were people there till the end of
Yeah.
the game. It was traffic leaving out the stadium for a
Right.
preseason game, and we
Well,
haven't seen something like that in a while. So,
here's the thing. We've seen a lot of fun this preseason.
hmm.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, things to feel good about going into week one. And I just hope that both sides of the ball comes in with that same type of tenacity, that same type of attack mode
Hmm.
and have fun mode. Here's the thing. No one's expecting you to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Go out there and play loose, call loose, have fun, and surprise some people. That's the whole thing about it. You got a bunch of guys on your roster that don't know any better. They're
Hmm.
young guys. They don't care if Tampa Bay has been to the playoffs and they got these veterans. They don't care if the Saints defense has been the tops in the league. They don't care if Baker Mayfield is in Carolina. They don't care about that. They just out there playing football because they have an opportunity to play at this level and they playing at a confident and a speed that you want to see from a young football team.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewind for a second. That game they played against the Jets, I was so impressed with how we looked. You
Yeah,
know, the starters on
yeah,
both sides of the ball. I mean, it was nice to see.
yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I know
Mhm,
we've had this Kyle Pitt's second year, but I'm so excited for his future. The way he plays and the type
mhm,
of mismatches,
mhm.
it
Yeah,
looks like it's going to be a problem all year when he's out there on that field.
yeah. Well, and he is going to be. I want to ask you a question.
Hmm.
Going into this season, going into the first game, what is a couple of your concerns with this football team?
It's still
At the
it's still the
beginning.
it's still I still have a little bit of concern with probably the defensive front, the front seven. I'm just still curious: are we going to be able to get after the quarterback like we need to?
Hmm.
They've looked, like you say, ferocious in the preseason games, but that's one thing that's kind of got me. I ain't gonna say I'm real concerned because they have played well, but I just I want to see if they can do what Dean P said and
Right.
crack the top 10 or top
Hmm.
15 in defense this season.
Right.
And then the other thing is it's not really a concern. I just didn't see much of Cordell Patterson, so I'm just wondering what
Yeah.
is his role going to be?
Yeah.
Is he going
Yeah.
to be a running back, or is
Yeah.
he going to be primarily trying to,
Yeah.
catch balls?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's valid. I was gonna go the same route. Right now we don't we the front three, and then if you want to add the two outside linebackers to make it that front five, uh, right now it has to be a concern because we haven't been successful in getting to the quarterback.
Hmm.
So maybe let's not call it a concern. Let's call it a wait to see, anxious to see if we're gonna get better in the
Yeah,
front. Let's call it that. And it has not been a Cordero Patterson sighting
preseason.
all preseason. And that's what we talked about weeks ago when you have when Arthur Smith is doing what he's doing with his quarterbacks and mixing it up and different receivers, play action, rotating running backs and all that stuff. Now, do you say, "Oh man, we got to put him in the game"?
Yeah.
Okay, let's call and play for him. And does it take you out of your play calling? So y- you didn't get a chance to witness of how you want to use him in a game time situation. I think you
Hmm.
missed that opportunity these three preseason games. Um, and then another concern of mine is the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
This young guys. Uh, I thought Zacchaeus should have played more in this preseason if you're going to rely on him more, because he hasn't played a lot of football. Yes, he's played maybe 10, 15 plays a game, but if you're going to play him more than that, he needs to get his legs up under him and be part of the offense, where he's comfortable and where the quarterbacks are comfortable with him. Um, and then the other concern is since Drake London went down, we haven't seen him
Yeah.
on the sidelines in practice. We haven't seen him. And as you sent me yesterday, it was Arthur Smith was asked, how was he doing? He says, "Oh, I like his progress whatsoever. I'm
Yeah.
not predicting anything, but we like where he is right now." And in this game, and I've been around it a long time, you go, "What's that smell?"
Right.
You- You're gonna
Something
find the
fishy.
smell. You're gonna find the smell. Something don't smell right now.
Hmm.
And the thing is, it was funny because uh, I was with my wife. She likes to talk football with me sometimes
Yeah.
too. And I was with my wife, and we was talking about that situation. And to me, when a guy, because it happened to me my rookie year, in the first preseason game, I hurt my knee, and I just disappeared. Because guess what? I got scope on my knee.
Hmm.
So I was rehabbing for that 3 to 4 weeks before the first game. So I'm not saying this is the case with,
Well, did you make it back though to the
I
first
made it
game?
back for the first game. I
Okay.
played the first game and played well. You know, I'm not saying this is what happened to him, but usually when a guy disappears like this, uh, and you don't see him at practice rehabbing, or you don't see him on the sideline of games, well, they didn't show him, but there there's a odor there somewhere.
Yeah, I know there's definitely people I'm sure the naysayers are probably sitting back waiting to be like, I told y'all so when just
Yeah.
because of his past injury. So
Mhm, mhm.
hopefully it's none of that and
Yeah,
everything's gonna be
yeah.
okay with him. And
He'll be fine. Whenever he comes back, he'll be fine. And when you have Pitts and Zacchaeus and Edwards and I'll call him the lacrosse guy, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Them guys get open. The the game plan is control the clock, uh, convert on third downs, run the ball effectively so you can use your play action game.
mhm.
That's that's what I've seen this preseason. That's what I've seen from this offense this preseason. And so if you're going to do that right now, your receivers are not valuable in the offense early in the year, because those young guys got to get acclimated to the
Hmm.
speed of the game and the routes and the timing and all that stuff. And then by week 5 or 6, you probably see more drop back than you'd see play action, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that lacrosse player you were talking about, that was Jared Bernhardt, who ended up
Yeah,
making the Atlanta
yeah,
Falcons, and
yeah,
apparently he was a top lacrosse player last
yeah.
year. So
Hmm.
to make the 53-man roster, and
Yeah,
he was
and a
man.
quarterback. Yeah, and he played quarterback.
See
So,
there, I didn't know that.
but you
Yeah,
know
that's
what? He deserved it. He really
yeah.
deserved it because he played well in all 3 preseason games. It's one of those things when you're a coach and even when you're a player. I always tell young guys when they go to camp, when you get an opportunity to play in the preseason, you got to have some wow plays. You got
Hmm.
to make your teammates jump in the air for you because that shows management and shows your coaching staff that you're going to be good in the locker room
Hmm.
and they're excited you're making plays. And he did that a lot in the 3 preseason games.
Yeah, he did. I was excited to see he made it. Unfortunately, with him making it, a couple of guys
Yeah,
that were fan favorites, such as Frank Darby,
yeah.
are currently not on the team. They may, end up being picked up as practice squad.
Mhm.
But him, this was since the last time we were
Yeah.
on. Geronimo Allison, Auden
Mhm.
Tate.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, those 3 names that going into mini camp and OTAs that you thought was going to show up
mhm,
and do some things. And I know they're disappointed. I'm a little disappointed to s- to not even get a chance to see them really thrive at that position. As you know, there's a 16-man practice squad this year.
mhm.
So yeah, there's a chance that one of the 3 may come back and be on the practice squad, if not all 3. So but here's the thing: if I'm a Frank Darby, what he's been here 2 years now, 3 years now,
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
think this would
This
be
is his 3rd year here.
third.
Yes,
Okay, third or second.
yeah, 2nd or 3rd year here, and I think it's time for a change.
Mhm.
Change of scenery. If you have a chance to go somewhere and be on somebody else's practice squad, I would do that because you got to understand if you've been around an organization for so long and then they release you, they're gonna always see you as the player we released. And so I would like if I was him and if I was his representative, I would try to find him a spot where he can start fresh.
Yeah, and then like, I imagine if other teams may need him, and what he can bring, aside from the actual skill
Right.
position.
Hmm.
He brings a lot, and that's why he would have been a cool guy to have.
Yeah.
Um, Tease Tabor, he also didn't make the
Hmm.
53-man roster. That's somebody
Yeah.
we thought might would make it.
Yeah. He was one of those free agent guys, right?
Hmm.
From Detroit, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. We went in a free agency from being a uh, Detroit Atlanta Lions
Hmm.
to being the Titans, the Bears.
Bears.
Uh, but it's just too bad because you already have 2 young safeties. Then you have a veteran safety. It was going to be hard for him to crack that safety spot. Uh, I
Like,
thought I think the secondary got better. I thought they played better this preseason. You have guys like Alford and Oliver and others that played extremely well.
yeah.
That's going to help us. I'm not talking about Hayward and Terrell as your starters, but I'm talking about those guys that can come in and play nickel or dime, that can cover outside guys and inside guys. And I think we got better in the secondary far as talent, but now we got to put it all together, front 7 and the back
And
end.
and there's somebody that we haven't discussed who returned is Debo. Deion Jones
Yeah,
is back. So now that's another person that's going to be thrown into the linebacker fold
right,
again. So
right.
that means either somebody's going to sit down, or he's going to be sitting down. What do you think is going to?
Well, here's my thought on that. When I seen that he was returning, that tells me there weren't too set on who's going to be that guy to replace him.
Mhm.
That means whoever was that guy to replace him didn't play well enough to get Dion packing. So I can foresee. I don't know if he is start or not, but I can foresee him playing a lot um, early on because here it is. Here's a guy who's played at a high level, been to the Pro Bowl, been to the Super Bowl, has made some extremely great plays for this Atlanta Falcons team in
Mhm.
crucial situations. And I think he deserves a chance to get beat out. I don't think you should just give his position away. I think he deserves a chance to fight for his position. He hasn't done anything to deserve to be set down, even just because of his injury, but he's back now. So
Yeah.
I think you don't when you don't sit a caliber guy like that replace him because of injury. Once he's healthy, he gets his spot back. And then he loses, if he loses it by the production or the lack of, then you have valid reason to sit him down.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see when they release this depth chart
Right.
for real, because I still don't think they settled on who the center is going to be.
Mm,
After that last game, I didn't see an updated depth chart that just said one or the other. So
right.
I'm sure that'll be finalized coming up. And
Well, it should be finalized. What's the day? Today is well, we're talking on Tuesday. It should be finalized pretty much tomorrow.
okay, yeah,
It has to be. It gives you the rest of this week and all next week to get familiar with who's going to be your starting center. You can't wait till Monday to say, okay, here's our starting center. No, because you got to understand if you wait till Monday and say, oh, here's my starting center, how you know your left tackle or your right guard is comfortable with that?
yeah,
It's you got to give them time to get comfortable with who's going to be the center. You see what I'm saying? Because
mhm,
each one of them, each offensive lineman and each quarterback going to have a different opinion on who should be the center. But whoever you uh, announce that's going to be that starting center, you got to do it now so it can be a cohesiveness, so they can play together, and so they can get over that. Okay, my dude is not starting; he's the starter. Hey, let's go to work now.
How soon do they start preparing for the Saints? You start now?
They should start now. Um, After the cuts are over with tomorrow, they'll probably get the game plan and start walking through it, discussing it, putting it together, getting ready for it. You got what 3 days prior, 3 extra days to prepare. So I think you start tomorrow with your game planning and go from there.
I got a clip I'm gonna include later on Dad and Demi, but it's a fan in there. It was after they blocked the punt in the
Uh huh.
preseason game.
Uh
She looked at me and I was recording. She's like, "We're back, we're back."
We're not back yet. It's just preseason. It was fun. It was fun. You got to understand is that uh, what you were watching in the preseason was guys that were on the same level, pretty
Mhm.
much, meaning they were trying to make the football team. So
Yeah,
you've seen, you know, what guys uh, perform against guys that were on the same level of them.
yeah,
Now coming up, starting with the first game, it's a different ball game because these are some dudes,
yeah,
and these some dudes that have played together for a long, long time. And so now our young guys got to rise to the level of that play,
hmm,
and because it goes to a different level, a different notch. And the thing is that you got a starting quarterback that has played at that high level, knows the speed of the game. You got a tight end who's tasted it whatsoever. You got some veteran offensive linemen who tested, but then you got running backs that has been there, Williams and Patterson whatsoever. And we didn't even talk about the running backs with Huntley and Allison being released. That's
but yeah,
that. Ooh, I thought Huntley was the most explosive running back this
he did so
preseason.
well in the preseason.
Yeah, now if he doesn't get picked up, I think he's going to be a
Practice squad.
practice squad guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they're. That's what we're hearing is that more than likely that's where he'll end up at. But yeah, I mean, way he played in the preseason, I would have thought he
Yeah.
might have made the 53-man roster. Honestly,
Now, isn't Avery Williams is the one that changed from DB to running back,
yeah,
and he beat out Allison and Huntley at that position? Wow, he must have did something special unless you looking at him as a special teams guy because you only got 4 running backs right now on your roster.
Yeah.
Well, 3 running backs, and then you got the converted DB 2 running back. So
And
hey, look,
he does special teams as
yes,
well,
mhm,
Williams. So maybe
yeah,
that was one of the.
that was probably the reason why they kept him over the other two because they probably not special team guys.
And we've had Olsen for a while.
Hmm.
It's one of those things that he was kind of a fan favorite as well, and
Right,
people believe that if he ever got his shot,
yeah,
consistent shot, that it
right,
would propel. That I hate
yeah,
this is where it's at right now, but I know that's the
right,
business.
yeah. I'm excited about to see what's the season start. I think starting against the Saints is a good uh, place to start, measuring stick for you as
Hmm.
an organization, as players, as a coaching staff, whatsoever. And we're gonna get to talking about what I thought about the preseason and the coaching staffs uh, for us, the coaching staff for us. But I think it's a good way to be 1-0 in a division and be number 1 in the division and capitalize on that. Um, it's going to be a tough order. I mean, this division is you don't even know. They picked Tampa Bay as a favorite, but with Tom being gone, Brady that is been gone for a while. And in his presser, he talks about, "Hey, I'm 45 years, and there's some stuff that happens whatsoever, so we don't know what's going on with him."
Yeah,
Um, I'm, you know, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan, but I'm a fan of guys getting the opportunity to revitalize their careers.
yeah.
And and I'm excited to see him play, but not against us. Same thing with Winston coming off of that injury, was playing well, and then he comes up, then he gets hurt. I would like to see him come back, and I just want to see a competitive division. I don't want to see no sloppy football in this
Hmm.
division. I want it to go down to the last week, and somebody has to win a division, and I hope it's us.
Well, I don't care if the other three are sloppy. I don't care. As long as Atlanta's not sloppy, the rest
Right.
they can.
Exactly. Exactly. And then we talked briefly. Um, I seen Arthur Smith's more demonstrous on the sidelines this preseason,
Yeah,
um,
glad you brought that up.
in guys' face, and I
Hmm.
got a few texts about that from some people and asking me my opinion about it as a player. Um, I'm not going to knock how a coach goes about his business, but all I can say, you can do that with young guys.
Hmm.
You can do that with young guys. I remember an incident I had as a veteran, uh, 11 years in the league at that. Uh, Dan Reeves got in my face when
Hmm.
I was sitting on the bench, and I didn't take too well to that. And I just politely jumped up and got at his face and said, "I'm a grown ass man, and you're not going to talk to me like that. If
Hmm.
you want me to respect you, you're going to respect me.
Yeah,
I don't care if you're the head coach or not. We are men.
yeah,
You just have a position that controls what we do, but at the same time, you're going to respect me as a man. You're not going to talk to me like I'm a kid."
yeah.
And after that, he understood, and it was a whole different. He called me that Monday, uh, and apologized and said, "Terrence, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. It was just the heat of the moment." But at the end of the day, if that's your coaching style, that's your coaching style. But this is all I have to say about your coaching staff. You better win games if you're gonna get in people's butt like that,
Hmm.
because players are gonna get tired of that at some point. I'm just talking from a
Oh no,
player
no, no. And
perspective.
it's because it in Atlanta Twitter, I guess I'll say in Atlanta Twitter, it kind of had a little firestorm because first they were, how like you said, he was in his face, and then they showed a clip. I think it was from this past preseason game where
Mhm,
Arthur Smith, like he went over there to give him a fist bump, but
mhm.
Ritter just kind of looked up and then did it and it was like went like, all right, man,
Yeah,
like just like
yeah,
okay, dude, like all right,
yeah,
move on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It,
yeah,
it, it seemed like he just gave him a pound and then
yeah.
put his head back down, like all right, whatever, dude, I'm doing mine.
Well, being I'm former head coach, offensive coordinator. I know it's not been on the NFL level, But I always told my players that I would never embarrass you in front of your peers, in front of fans, or in front of your family. I
Mhm.
said I would never do that. I said at some point I will get in your face, but not in a way where people going, "Oh, he's chewing him out." I'm gonna let myself cool down first, have thoughts of what I want to say to you, and
Mhm.
then I'm gonna bring you up to me, put my arms around you, and say, you shouldn't have did that. That was a dumb play. Let it go. It's over with. Let's go out and play football. And guys respect that more because players already know I screwed up.
Yeah.
I've never heard a player come to what did I do? What did I do? What did
Mm.
I do wrong? They know they dropped the ball. They know if they threw an interception. They know if they had a bad read. They know if they missed a block. They know if they missed a hole. They know if they know that. They know if they missed a tackle. They know those things. So when they come off to the sideline for you to get in their face and continue to berate them because they made a mistake, what seems to happen is you don't play the next series as fast
Mhm.
because you're afraid to make a mistake because you don't want to go back to that sideline and get chastised. So if this is how you're gonna be for the whole year, be it.
Yeah.
Be it. That's all I got to say about that.
I'm not going to compare him to Belichick, of course, because he hasn't won those many. But I'll
Mhm.
just say that I've seen Belichick maybe eye roll or he'll just
Yeah.
look at him
Hmm.
crazy or something,
Hmm.
and then I never see him just go on the
Yeah.
sideline and just get into somebody's face.
Well, that's a Nick Saban thing. That's a college coach thing.
Hmm.
Because those are young men. You're trying to get young men to play at a high level and do things correctly. But once you get to the NFL, you're a grown man most of them have wives and families and kids and all these things,
Mortgage.
businesses and mortgages and all these things, investments and this and that. These are grown men. So you got to treat them that way and you
Yeah.
got to talk to them that way. Because at some point, if you want respect, you got to respect them also.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess we can say next week before I asked you your scenario for the Saints
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So what you got for us to end this program with?
Man, I worked out, came home, showered, relaxed a little bit. I've been on the couch all day until it was time for us to take. Um, I'm watching video clips and on YouTube, and some of it is funny, some of it is America Got Talent, and some of it was Jamie Foxx, and some of it was Luther. I was just going back and forth, and
All
then my
over the
emotions
place.
was just running. My emotions was just running, and all I could, and then I laid there and asked myself, did I do enough?
Hmm.
And when I say did I do enough, did I do enough where I have made a change in my family's legacy? Have Did I fail in any aspect of raising my kids or being a husband, being a father or a brother? And just so many emotions was just coming over me, coming over me, coming over me. And it was like I was in church on Sunday and the pastor asked a question. Think about in your lifetime the most love or the biggest abundant love that you have ever had and witnessed. And I got tears in my eyes and I thought about my mom and
Hmm.
how much she loved me. And she's not here anymore. And I wish because the hug she used to give me when I see her and all these things. And then he says, imagine this. God loves you more than that love you ever had. Every time you make a mistake, and you go to him, he puts his arm around you. He don't chastise you. He don't say, I told you, and in the word it says this. Every time you say, Lord, I'm sorry, forgive me. He puts his arms around you and says, I love you. I love you. In spite of you and the things that you do, I'ma love you. Remember that. Just because you fail at things, that's because you may have disappointed people. God loves you more than anybody on this green earth. And if you can take that love and love others in just a little bit, you'll find them love you just as much.
Right on. Thanks, T.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Preseason's over. We're almost there.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's kick it off, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.